I sat with Tony Wilson for a while. And,
Tony,
And he could converse on absolutely anything, and he had that same sort of impression about the people of Manchester. Well, obviously very proud of the people of Manchester, but the music scene there, and the way that everybody, with the exception of jazz, everybody was into everything.
It's kind of a it is, and we have this thing about what I found in. I don't know whether this is indicative to Canada or it's a new thing last few years, that people seem to be in several bands, whereas when you're in a band, it's like a mentality. You're in a band and you live and breathe it, and that's it. You know what I mean? You don't have a job, you're in a band, and that's it. And I'm a great believer in that. That's why I had to leave the Bunnies to do this. Become a hypocrite. But back there, it started in the industrial revolution, where they brought immigration came. It was the first immigrant city. Immigration came from all over the world. And they had different music nights at different venues, so it might be Indian music one night, it might be Czechoslovakian folk music another night, it might be, et cetera, et cetera. And they closed them down, so they all had to play through one venue. It was a venue called the Band on the Wall, which is great. So small, the stage was cut out of the wall. It really is, it's full, and then there's like a shelf with the drums and the guitar goes on. It's fantastic, still going to this day. And what they did, one night might be Chinese music, but they couldn't, they'd just play with the Czechoslovakians and the Indians, and they all just played together. So everyone just played together, and every band does. It's always a mixture, and it's just. But I think it was Satchmo said there's only two types: good and bad music, isn't there? Genres. I'm not a great believer in it.
And that's something.
Unless it's country and western.
I like a little Hank Williams.
Oh, this is the odd one I like. Yeah. Chris Christopherson's great. I like Chris Christopherson. Johnny Cash.
It's someone coming from this side of the water. We're used to, when you're coming up, it's like you listen to this and only that. And
it's all siloed.
Yeah, and that dictates how you dress, who you hang out with, what radio station you're into. And, I think I can speak for Fitz and Ali. We've been sitting around laughing about a lot of, about the old Much Music days, how Michael Williams would host the Pepsi Power Hour, and then he would do Rap City right after.
Right.
And when I first came to Canada as a youth from Trinidad, that's the first image of music I got. And so we were always like that. We were always sort of the people who were like, well, you're a black guy in the 90s, you're supposed to be listening to hip hop. And I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to hip hop, but we loved a lot of the Manchester guys as well. Like we were dead into like a lot of those bands from that era, as well as a lot of other bands that had nothing to do at all with what we were supposed to do. And so that philosophy grew us up, and going to Manchester and seeing it and playing with the HippyMafia, it's like we finally get to play. It's weird. It's like playing with a bunch of guys from across the Atlantic. We finally feel like we're at home because we can finally ignore all those boundaries.
And rap's kind of easy for Manchester because Manchester's a kind of, though different than Liverpool, even though they're so close. Liverpool's very good at great at melodies, really great at melodies, and they always have like the lead singer's always a great vocalist, but not always the deepest lyrics, whereas Mancunians are real pontificators. So I'm like, they're not great vocalists, whether it's Marquis Smith, Short, or whoever, or Ian Brown, but great lyrics. And
I never thought about that, but you know what? With the exception of maybe Morrissey. Well, Morrissey's not
Morrissey as well, yeah. He's got a great voice, yeah, but he's got great lyrics.
But yeah,
Those are really deep lyrics and kind of,
Ian
so
Brown.
Yeah, so they're good for that. Okay. Yeah, so maybe not the Bee Gees. They're good with voices and not really. But yeah, so it's really good about words. And the good thing, if you have good words, your chances of getting good reviews are great, because journalists, one thing they do know, they might not know music, but they know words. So if you've got good lyrics, you got half a chance of getting a good review. So it makes sense to us. And we used to, and I've been obsessive, and Johnny is from being young Beatles fan, but also I love Sex Pistols. Was the first big band to get me into music and hip hop. So it's like, why can't we mix Beatles harmonies and hip hop? And we tried it, and it worked.
So you've got management pending.
We're starting looking next. We've not even.
Everything's pending.
Everything's pending.
We've got a lot of.
Is there anything recorded?
Oh
yeah, we've got two albums. Black Beatles 1 and Black Beatles 2 ready to go.
Yeah, we've got.
When are we going to get those?
I don't know. Well, we're going to do these shows. We're going to speak to a few people and see after that in the new year, definitely.
We're kind of waiting for the business part of it to come into play, but everything's fully formed. When depending on certain scenarios, it may be sooner, maybe later.
I've got a lot of offers. I'm just really paranoid. I don't know whether it's one of them. I'm not sure which route.
Yeah, I mean, you've had some of the worst record deals in the history of record deals.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Well, I'm just a bit wary of, you know, I don't know whether we want to go that route, you know, whether we want to do it ourselves, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It depends what management who we settle with. Doing it ourselves is a better route, but I think that's a young man's game.
Yeah, probably. You want somebody else to take care of the business.
Of course, yeah, definitely, because we're not great. I mean, I think the young bands nowadays, because I think a lot of young bands are, can I swear?
Yeah.
Shit. Because I think it's because you spend 80% of the time,
Yeah.
you know, rather than playing the music, whereas we spend so much time doing the other.
Yeah,
I think so, and I think they've kind of lost the, I don't know, they've lost the focus, I think.
Well,
but,
you got to have an MBA to be in a band today.
You pretty
need-
much do, and an IT degree.
Yeah.
But we've got this strange freak. We could call him a freak, can't we?
We could.
Can
In Hamilton, who started doing all that for us, he's a strange man. So he started doing all that. So we've just, like, I spent all morning loading the videos up, and I've just sent them to him. So just sort them out. He's strange, but he does all that.
Yeah,
I'm hopeless, you know.
He's strange. Yeah.
What's good about this crew, though, we got like a good team around us to
That
begin
sounds
with.
like it.
You know what I mean? It's a good, solid base. So we don't really want anybody else coming in that's going to offset that
Right.
balance. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's going to be. I mean, I think we'll, you know, where we're going to go, I don't know. You know, who knows? But I think the ascent will be fairly rapid soon. I mean, I'm not saying that being arrogant, because one thing I'm not is arrogant. But I think, you know, I'm really confident in it. It's really good. It's different. The only thing that will slow us down is that it's different, and it might freak people out.
Yeah, and
Well,
that.
I don't know, because I think at this time,
That's
I think
maybe.
people are ready for something
Maybe.
different.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
And that's the thing. It's like again, one of the strange things about this marriage is that they were doing it over there and it's different. But both Fitz and I, our bands, Track Dirty as in Gen Militia, we were those groups who were. Everyone would say, "Wow, you're really good," but we don't know which bucket to drop this in. And so a lot of people shied away.
Right.
But now again, it's like, you know, the iPod generation has made this stuff come of age.
I have to say, too, like on the underground scene and the indie scene, like I think our bands actually helped break some of that open. You know what I mean? I think we birthed a few bands out here, to tell you the truth, around Canada.
Is at the time we started, no one else was doing that kind of thing. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find, you know, it was just everyone was siloed. And in Canada, it's like, you know, if you're a black dude, you're rapping.
Right.
You know, that's it. And we always were kind of like against that. So we were playing guitar. We were playing in essentially punk funk bands.
Yeah.
Right. Essentially is what we were doing. And
Now
that's
we've added Johnny and stuff. So it's like Wu-Tang Clan meets Crosby, Stills and Nash.
yeah.
Anyway, you know, the thing about harmonies is, you know, whether it's Sex Pistols, punk, harmonies work, they're there. Harmonies work, people don't use them. They work, they always work.
That's true.
Every time they work harmonies. People don't use them enough.
Well, I can't wait to hear what all this sounds like in
Oh,
its
yeah.
finished form, and I can't wait to see what it sees like, what it
it's-
looks like in its
Yeah.
finished form.
It's a freak show.
Yeah, well, come to the Orbit Room Thursday, you'll see.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to come
great,
in.
great
Let's
coming
keep
on.
in touch. I want to see how this grows.
Word.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah. Nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Explore Music wears English Laundry apparel.